Right, everyone. Hello. Let's see if we are live. This will be exciting. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me right now. That'd be really super useful. Hello Instagram. We're going to be talking nutrition, fitness, running, anything you want really. Right. So if you can hear me, just write in the comments. Tag every single person you know. No, I'm lying. Tag one person you know that you think might benefit from this. And then in the comments, say hello and say where you are watching it from. Unfortunately, I can't see your comments, it looks like at the moment. So this will give me a little bit of feedback as we just wait for a few people to log in. Let's see how we're doing. Emma's here. How frustrating I don't actually see your messages. That is very peculiar. Andy, that's very useful feedback. How is it now? We've all got good sound. There we go, we've got a few people coming in. Hey bro. Hey Fran. Hey Emma. This is cool. We'll give it one more minute, guys, just before we get going. Just want to make sure everything's good. This is our first one, obviously. Let me know, Andy, if that sounds good, if you've got an echo still, so we can always revert back. So we've got 6 of you here, that's quite cool. Hello everyone on Instagram. We're going to be talking about running, nutrition, fitness, all of those kind of things. She's got to get really fit for the apocalypse. I'm joking, I won't make that joke again. Right guys, hit the heart button if you can hear me, if we're good to go. I've got a little delay here. And as soon as I get 3 hearts come in, we commence. Cool. Right, let's do this. Let's get going. We've got a few people on Instagram as well watching. Right, they're the hearts. Let's get cracking. 7 of you joining me. So hello, my name is Arj. Everyone in here knows who I am, so this is pretty useful. But thank you very much for tuning in. I can see some of you have already shared posts, so that is fantastic. This is obviously going to be uploaded so people can watch it on the playback again and again and again. which will be really useful. I think at this time, really, the things that we're going through, it will be really, really useful to have something to take our mind off the current situation. So I'm going to do about a 20-minute live right now, and I'm going to talk about a few questions that we've had, and maybe we'll do this on a weekly basis if the interest is enough. I've got Instagram going on down here. I've got a laptop over here with your questions. I can see your comments. They come in really, really slowly, and there is a delay between me speaking and you guys basically hearing what I say. So do bear with me. But other than that, let's crack on with our first question, which is from Adam. So Adam basically says that Adam's obviously planning on doing some fitness inside the house because we're almost mandated to do so. We basically have an exercise bike in the house. What can I do with it? Is there something that would be more beneficial than another type of exercise on that bike? Hello everyone who's joining, hit the like button. If you're enjoying this session, obviously you don't know quite yet if you're enjoying it, but we've got 11 people in here, so that's cool. Type where you're watching from as well, guys. So, back to Adam's question about exercise bike and how we can realistically get the most out of our sessions whilst we're having to perhaps stay indoors a little bit more often than we want to. So, first off, you've got a form of cardiovascular exercise within your house. That's pretty cool, and that's going to make it quite easy for you to maintain some general conditioning that some of us might find it a little bit more difficult to. Rule number one really is any form of cardiovascular exercise is going to be beneficial for you. So if you guys are kind of thinking, I'm not really going to be walking very much, I usually make 10,000 steps or 8,000 steps, whatever it is, the fact that you'll do some form of cardiovascular exercise by jumping on a bike, that will be good for you. Full stop, no problem at all. We then have various intensities that we can work on. So in terms of intensities, ignore the stuff that you see in the gym on those gym bikes. I mean, you can't access those gyms anymore actually, so you can't be told lies. But ignore the information which says you're in the fat burning zone right now, or you're in the aerobic zone. I mean, the anaerobic zone does exist, but all of it, every single bit of exercise that you do will burn fat. It just depends on how long you exercise for and your intensity to how many calories you burn, and therefore, the more calories you burn, the more fat you'll be burning. Okay, I hope that's really clear for you both up here on Facebook and down here on Instagram. So, you might find that the most effective way for you to train actually depends on your time and your goals. Now, if you're looking just to maintain a bit of fitness and not looking to do anything drastic in a short period of time, then it's just steady state. So pick a pace on your bike which is basically fast enough that you are building up a sweat as such, not too fast that you basically can't hold a broken conversation. Steady state exercise, that's like 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. So if it has a heart rate detector on the handlebars, or you even have a heart rate monitor, then that's really cool. And you'll be able to use those figures, 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate, to get an idea of where you should be. But a really simple message is pedal at speed. That means that you can have a conversation with someone. So someone's saying, "What do you want to get done? You're like, I'm exercising. Don't talk to me right now. I can't do this." If you manage to get that whole sentence out, then you're probably in the zone. But if you struggle to speak, then you need to probably drop it down in intensity a little bit. And think about anything is obviously beneficial, but up to around 45 minutes will be excellent for steady state cardio. Obviously, anything you can possibly do is going to be beneficial, so bear that in mind. If you're looking to boost your endurance, so you really want to make some improvements, and generally in a short period of time, pop up a couple of intervals into that training. We hear high intensity interval training banded around all the time, loads of personal trainers do it. Interval training basically means working at a rest period pace and a sprint pace. So The first interval being active recovery. That means you're moving, you're jogging, you're running, you're cycling, but it's not actually at full pace, and therefore means that you are recovering, but still getting some benefit from it. You can take lots of deep breaths in. It might be walking, it might be actually running at a faster intensity. That just depends on your fitness, but everything's relative. Then you have this sprint zone, which is flat out, or it's 85% and above of your maximum effort. So it's either flat out or near enough flat out. First disclaimer, you shouldn't do this if you haven't done exercise in ages. If you're thinking, wow, this event has arrived, the event being the C word, and this is an opportunity for me to get really fit, that's a really cool approach actually to take, and I commend you for that approach. But do bear in mind that you probably need to build up a little bit of fitness first before you go straight into the high end. It is very, very demanding. In terms of how long you should spend on each of those zones, a nice basic fundamental interval session is 30 seconds in the sprint zone, followed by a minute and a half in the active recovery zone. Before you do any of that, do at least 5 to 10 minutes of just steady state, slow cycling. So there you have it, Adam. You've got this steady state, maintain, look after your heart health, do it for up to about 45 minutes, sitting on a bike for a conversation, or you've got this high intensity interval training, 30 seconds really fast, minute and a half, nice and slow, and that will basically improve your VO2 max, your maximal capacity to use your lungs, and you'll get fit quite quickly doing that. If I were you, I'd learn the two, so you just don't get too bored doing them. The funny thing is actually, with HIIT classes that you often find with personal trainers and fitness instructors, is that they forget basically that it's an interval, so it's really high, and then you get some rest period. They basically do like, okay, cool, we're going to do 20 minutes really high intensity. That's not an interval training, that's just working really hard for 20 minutes. Actually, what I would say, bear in mind that doing loads of high volume, so loads of long distance, or doing loads of high intensity, when I say loads of it, I mean working maximally 4 times a week plus, your immune system will actually drop. Whereas if you do some moderate exercise, not just low, moderate exercise, your immune system does improve. Now, neither of these are going to kind of prevent you from getting coronavirus. That's not how a virus works. But you basically want to be as fit as possible at this period of time, particularly. And therefore, if you're going to do some intervals, don't do maybe more than 2 times in a week, because that's not stress really. And aim for your interval sessions to be 20 minutes in duration at the top end. Okay? Right, I hope that answers your question, Adam. I'm going to have a little look for what we've got next. Remember, if you have got comments, if you have got questions, we've got loads here. Hey Sam, hey Jake. Huge echo. Everything is muted on this side. We'll have a look at that for next week. Do let me know if you're still struggling to hear. Actually, if we play with something now. And how about now? So everyone, just let me know if the echo has gone and you can still hear me. Is this more satisfying for your ears? Have a little sip of a drink whilst we're just waiting for some of those comments come in. Hey Charlie, how are we doing? Cool. Right. I think we have solved it. I had a secret microphone running in the background which I didn't know about. That's pretty cool. Thanks very much for the feedback. This is live TV. No, this is the future of TV actually. This is pretty cool to find out. Thank you very much for all staying live as well with us. Only lost 3 people from the stream during that period of time, so that's pretty cool. Charlie Jenkins, hello. Where are you watching from, Charlie? Where are you watching from as well, Claire? Cool. Right, let's go on to our next question. Andy, this is yours, Andy. Make sure you're paying attention. Get your pen and paper out. So, hopefully, hello everyone down there. Adam, I've just answered your question. You're going to have to rewind and look at my answer though. Right, Andy asked the question of when I'm running away from monsters, do correct me if I'm wrong on the exact details, when I'm running away from monsters or burglars in my dreams, I always slip, I lose my purchase and I slip. What angle should I be running at and what angle should I be sprinting at? So that's with regards to body position. Correct me as well, guys, if any of your questions I misunderstand. So Andy, the key here for you really is to focus on one thing at a time when you run. I'm smiling because I'm just picturing you running away from these monsters, and it's I can imagine how I would be at that time, and I probably wouldn't be thinking of my form, and I'm now telling you to focus on one thing with your running form. But basically, whenever you go out running, think about one thing that you want to focus on and spend maybe 2 minutes at a time on it, or spend a particular distance. So from this lamppost to that lamppost, I'm going to focus on a knee lift or whatever it is that I'm advising you to do. Cool, I've got the question right. Sofa polishing, Sainsbury's car park. Charlie, you're crazy. So, basically, body position is entirely dependent on the point at which you're running, and it does have many variables in terms of if there is something that you're doing, lower body mechanics, that might be affecting your upper body, we'll need to adjust that. But to keep things really, really basic, if you are sprinting, you have this drive phase, and that drive phase is the very start of your sprint. You see someone coming out the blocks when we're talking about the Olympics. Unfortunately, we probably won't see that this year, although I will be rewatching the 2012 Olympics without a doubt, because it's kind of something I just generally do anyway, but this is a good excuse to do it. But in that starting period, when they leave the blocks, you basically have this angle like that, and you are looking to push backwards as much power as possible. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, so therefore by pushing backwards, your body's propelling itself forwards. That's great, that really, really works, and the only consideration you have to have is that you can't force your body to maintain that position for very long. So you'll see an elite sprinter will probably maintain that for 28 to 32 meters. It's nice approximates for you. But as a newbie or a novice, that will probably only last about 2 meters. Maybe if you're really, really good and really, really fast, you'll get 10 meters out of it. The idea is that as soon as you feel that you need to lift your body up in the sprint, you should get vertical. Get vertical and get strong. So if you're in this position, hopefully you can see me, you're sprinting out of the blocks like this, and as things change, as you feel, oh, I'm just bent over and I'm actually running like this, I'm running like an old man, then that's the point at which you need to gradually bring yourself nice and tall. Ideally, you will be sprinting here, and you will get the idea, the feeling of what it needs to be, and you'll gradually get taller and taller and taller and taller, and you'll be there. Really nice arm drive overhead, almost like a coach. If you are running, however, we really want you to be tall. And that means keeping everything in line. That's head over hips, making sure our feet, our knees are contacting underneath our hips. It's really fuel efficient, basically. It's good running economy to have everything landing underneath each other, because the speed at which you're moving forwards then basically means that I'm now travelling, my foot lands underneath my body, and I keep going onwards and onwards and onwards. As you get tired, a lot of people tend to do this and they lean backwards and then they're peering over the neighbour's fence. That's just a coaching cue. So if you're peering over the neighbour's fence, just tuck that chin in and make sure you bring your chest back over your hips. Sometimes, if you're getting really tired, it's a nice little coaching cue to then say, right, I'm just going to lean ever so slightly forwards. By leaning ever so slightly forwards, that basically allows you to push your foot into the floor and backwards. Does that answer your question, Andy? Has that been useful? If it has, go and check that out, or try it out over the next few days, whilst we still can run outdoors, and see what happens, okay? Give me some feedback. Does it work for you? If not, Jake says, we'll have to get the opening ceremony DVD out. Yes, Jake. I have probably watched the opening ceremony. Hold on, actually. Kate's still decorating in the other room. If you know, you know. Kate, how many times do you reckon I've watched the London 2012 opening ceremony? Yeah? Kate says she reckons I've probably watched the London 2012 opening ceremony maybe 30 plus times. That plus is probably accurate because loads of the time when she falls asleep, I just go and watch clips back from London 2012. And then just look out for this man here, this Jake Vincent, in your if you do go back and watch the opening ceremony, see when his face pops up. Anyway, Andy, I hope that helped with your question. We're going to move on. 20 minutes in already. I've done 2 questions. That's not very good, is it? I said it would be about 20 minutes long. Right. Let's have a look at Emma's question. The word house is in the question, and that's why I got it wrong. It's not just weird. Right. So, Emma says, trying to get a few bits of equipment ready in the house which allows me to train. She sent me a few things that she's got already in the house that would help her. Cool, so we've got some Dynabands there. We've got an ab roller, we've got a couple of dumbbells. That's really cool, Emma, that you've got all of those things already. You're in a pretty good position, really, having all of those things. Basically, in an ideal world where you want minimal equipment but enough to do something, I would always rely on a Dynaband, maybe a light Dynaband and a heavy Dynaband, so like a purple. A light being one like which is a red or a green. I would have a single kettlebell, probably choose a heavier one, something around 8 kilos plus. That's not a must, but it's very useful to have some kind of weight like that. And you can generally pick them up quite cheap at Lidl or Aldi, if you manage to get past everyone, that is. Then, what else would I have? I'd go for a Swiss ball, actually. Swiss balls are really useful. You haven't got one of those in your images, so probably get the Swiss ball if you can. They're so dynamic in terms of use. So you can do loads and loads of abs on them, which is really cool. And then a lacrosse ball. That's not just a marketing ploy because I sell lacrosse balls. The cheapest place on the internet in the UK. It's not just because I do that. It's basically because they're fantastic for mobility work. So yeah, 2 Dynabands, kettlebell, a Swiss ball, obviously some kind of mat, whether it's a towel or you're happy just lying on the floor, that's cool. and a lacrosse ball. You can do an awful lot of exercise with those things. Anything extra is great. In terms of that ab roller, so an ab roller is like a bar with a wheel on it. Ab rollers are quite useful in terms of something called eccentric contraction. So basically, it's the harder contraction for a muscle. It's the negative phase. It's the downwards phase, for example. They're excellent. Pop on your knees, roll the wheel out, and bring it back in. Just a key point really is make sure that you don't let your hips drop when you roll out. If they start dropping, don't roll as far out. Just keep it nice and short range of motion. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. And as you get stronger and stronger, roll out further, and just make sure you suck in from your belly button as you pull in. Hopefully those two things have answered your questions, guys. Just want to make sure we're all still able to hear me. Cool. Right. Let's move on. I think we'll do one or two more questions, guys. If we do one or two more questions, and then I'm going to do another of these. I'm enjoying this, so we'll do another of these and to answer some of the others. So here is a question from Claire. Hello, Claire, if you're still watching. And she says, for swimmers who are going to be out of the water for who knows how long, one, useful exercises to maintain fitness and stamina, cool. Two, how to keep morale high to include mental well-being and positive mindset. Yeah, that's something that's really important right now. And three, how to keep motivated and focused when competitions have been cancelled. Wow. Three really big questions, three really hard questions as well. Let's go through those. I might save, if it's all right with you, Claire, I'm going to save question 3 for the next one, because I think that's a really good topic, and I'd probably like to, Steph on Instagram, I'd probably like to talk about motivation and focus in more detail. So let's do that one next time round. So first up, useful exercises to maintain fitness and stamina. This can be for anyone, to be quite honest. Mountain climbers, absolutely fantastic, particularly if you're a swimmer, because you're looking to make sure we stay streamlined and stay strong right here in the midsection. So a mountain climber is like you basically get in a running start position, alternating that knee up and back and forth, up to your chest and back out. Try not to let your hips drop. Try to keep everything as straight as possible. That means we're working really hard here in your midsection. If you let your hips drop all the time, you're demonstrating a weakness, really. So mountain climbers would be right up there for me. Hey Jenny, how are we doing? Then I would have big exercises like press-ups and squats and lunges, basically. If you do those 4 exercises, you're in a really good position. We can talk about increasing the intensity at which you do them, so increasing either range of motion, so going lower on your press-up or lower on your squat, or increasing the speed at which you do your mountain climbers, or increasing the duration that you do them for. And vary things. It doesn't have to be that you always, right, I'm just going to do as long as I possibly can and then I'm done. It can be, okay, how many blocks of 20 seconds can I do on mountain climbs? Can I do 20 sets of 20 seconds, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off? That's interesting. Create a little challenge for you. And that actually links quite nicely into your next question there, how to keep morale high and include mental well-being and positive mindset. Mental well-being, speak to people as much as possible. First up, I am by no means a psychologist or a psychiatrist or anyone with any kind of qualifications to give you official advice in that area. But as a coach, in terms of trying to look after people's mental well-being, you give them the opportunities to talk, you give them the opportunity to express as much as possible. So by getting out training logbooks, by
talking to someone who isn't necessarily your closest friend, really, is very often the easiest way to discuss whether it's training, whether it's your journey down to the supermarket and someone's really rude to you, or you said hi to 5 people and one of those didn't say hi back, and it's like, well, why didn't that one person say hi back? Focus on the other aspect of the fact that 4 people did say hi back to you. If you try and set yourself goals, particularly at this time, and they can be tiny, tiny, tiny goals of, oh, I've accomplished that, I've achieved that during this period of time, I've gotten that done this morning. So, like, I don't know, you're starting work at 8:30. Okay, you know what? I'm going to be really productive between 7:30 and 8:30. I'm going to stick a wash load on. Perfect. You've achieved something. You feel a little bit more gratification during that period of time. Obviously, if you're a junior, so you're perhaps not thinking about putting the washing load on at the time, parents, make your kids do that. Maybe your focus should be on, particularly sports people, this is, maybe your focus should be on, okay, let's look at all of my weaknesses. What can I do in this period of time to make me better at my sport that almost justifies this period of time out of the sport? So for me, a real big one was Achilles injury. Couldn't do most things pretty much for several years. But anyway, okay, what can I do to strengthen that? What can I work around to improve my overall performance by focusing on this one injury? So one of the things I'm probably going to focus on is mobility. My mobility's gotten really rubbish, so over the next few weeks, I'm going to try and do loads and loads of mobility, probably live on the internet like this as well, because it's just interesting to do those kind of things. Claire, I do hope that has helped a little bit. I will probably talk more about that point and include the motivation and focus. Right, there's still 7 of you on. We had a peak at 11, or 8, sorry, because it's down here as well. So, if you have a question live right now, post it. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do so, and then we keep getting new people. So if you have a question right now live which has sprung to mind, post it right now and I'll answer it. It is so sunny behind this camera right now. Beautifully sunny. I probably need to move this light, don't we? Alright, 20 more seconds, guys. Before you go, everyone, please do me a favour. Hit like, haha, love, wow. Maybe don't hit the angry button. But I want to do this regularly as possible. Take people's minds off things. Maybe we can all communicate a little bit more and get some free advice out of it. I'm obviously used to being in front of classrooms, athletes, clients all day, and therefore this will give me someone to talk to so I can hear my own voice for a longer period of time. Wow, that was cool. Loads of reactions, cool. Definitely don't get that many reactions normally. Cool, right, I'm going to finish on this one question here because I think it's going to be really useful for everyone at the moment. This one's from Jamie. Jamie says, should I try and train every single day for a short period of time, or should I do 3 long sessions in the week? Well, Jamie, I'm going to be really annoying and say it depends on what those sessions are every single day. If you're looking at mobility as a session and you're doing 5 mobility sessions in a week, then cool, do 2 sessions of cardiovascular exercise or a circuit or a bit of resistance training, that's not going to be overtraining whatsoever. If, however, you are short on time and you want to capitalize, then just stick with the 3 and be like, okay, these 3 sessions are going to be my routine. I do these 3 things always, no matter what. I will achieve this one run, I will do this circuit session, and then I will do maybe a bit of resistance work followed by a bit of mobility. And those are my 3 that I do every single week without fail. I think right now, the way everything is changing, so you guys out there in Germany, you're a bit ahead of us, but for everyone here, we need routine as much as possible. Therefore, building some kind of schedule of what you're going to do, whether it's every single day, your thing first thing in the morning is to do 10 minutes of yoga, or forget yoga, you're going to do a 4-minute morning every single morning, plug, or you're going to do a run after work every single Tuesday and Thursday. That's it. Just have some routine that you'll follow and make sure your week is as normal as possible. There are loads of questions. I've got about another 5 questions that I will do next time. If you can let me know if you think this has been good, I would really appreciate the feedback. Because obviously this takes a lot of time. I spend a little bit of money on getting some stuff together to do this as well. And it would be great feedback for me in terms of whether doing these lives. I'd quite like to do this at least once a week during this horrible time, this challenging time that we're all going through. It'd be nice to have some conversations, a little bit of community spirit. And it's really useful for me because I do a lot of filming, and it's just sometimes interesting to know what people like and what people want, and then I can do more filming around that, because this is going to be a time where I do loads of content. Right, everyone, I'm going to leave you. Thank you very much for joining me. I want you to take something away from today's session. So, today's session, being a coach again, from today's live, fingers crossed you do. Please post your feedback in the comments. I will continue to answer any questions written, or if I think, no, let's talk about it on the live, I'll either do a live next week, or I might do one in a few days' time. We'll see how things go. Have a great day. Enjoy your evening. I'm going to go and joining my brother's pub quiz later on this evening, which will be fun. Got a couple of beers that I can enjoy that with. Right, everyone, take care. Stay safe. Don't go out needlessly. There's just no need to. Right, take care, everyone. All the best. Thank you very much. Share the post.